Okay. Wait lang. Maraming pumapasok. Late. Okay, so welcome to our discussion on art in Asia. So today we will explore the rich history of Asian art. This is when ancient civilization flourished. Okay, nagkaroon ng trade which became the vital bridge for sharing not just goods, hindi lang kultura, pati mga belief systems. So we're going to look into how China, Japan, and the Philippines developed their unique artistic identities from pre-colonial times all the way to the modern era. Okay, so let's start. So trading and cultural exchange. So during that time, yung trade ay hindi lang ito exchange of goods, ano? So it it was an exchange of ideas, no? Okay, as countries established economic ties, they naturally shared philosophies and of course yung kanilang mga religious beliefs, which sets the foundation for the region's artistic development. Okay, also China has always been a cultural frontier. So while it is an economic powerhouse today, its history shows a deep-rooted dedication to the arts. So kung saan almost all cultural and religious practices were visually represented. Okay, so even in primitive societies, their inhabitants were masterful artisans. Magagaling silang artist. Okay, so they excavated bronze vessels. Okay, yung mga excavated bronze vessels from the second millennium BCE ay nagpapakita ito ng mga highly intricate designs showcasing an early mastery of metallurgy and symbolic imagery. Okay, moving on. So, wait lang. Maraming pumapasok. Okay, so during the Zhou Dynasty, naka-experience ang China ng tinatawag na cultural explosion. Katulad nung Golden Age of Greece. So yung feudal system supported a thriving class of artisans, mga artists who produce, marami silang na-produce, mga highly refined works, specifically para doon sa kanilang mga royal family. Okay. Ayaw mag-move. Okay. So, art does not exist in a vacuum. Chinese art was heavily inspired by Indian missionaries who brought new religious and artistic models. However, noong 6th century, mga Chinese artists, they pivoted to establish what we call distinctly indigenous aesthetic. So as Chinese art found its own voice, it turned toward the spiritual. Yung mga paintings nila ay nagpapakita ng mga imaginative at mga magical realms. Yung core belief nila was that the artist was merely a vessel, moved by a higher spiritual power to create the work. So ganon, yung mga artist nila para silang mga binigyan ng kakayahan, ng mga mga god nila, no, para makapag-create ng mga work of art na magpapakita ng higher spiritual beliefs. Okay? Okay, so monumental landscapes. So yung monumental landscape painting became a defining Chinese styles. The artist used towering mountains and rocks as barriers that commanded the viewer's attention. Ah, uh, wait lang po, sandali lang. May tawag lang sa telepono. Edi ano, mamaya tingnan natin. Di ka usapin. Okay, so tuloy tayo. Okay, so yun na nga, monumental landscape painting became a defining Chinese style. Gumagamit yung mga artist nila ng mga towering mountains, mga rocks, mga barriers katulad ng Great Wall of China that commanded the viewer's attention, creating a flowing visual journey from the background to the foreground. Okay, so perspectives in painting. So hindi katulad ng mga Western art na nagpapakita lamang ng mga perspectives which typically forces the eye toward a single vanishing point. Chinese painting embraces multiple perspectives. No? So this technique invites the viewer to wander through the painting, exploring fine details created by sharp brushstrokes. Porcelain and decorative arts, of course, this is practically synonymous with Chinese decorative art. Yung mga intricate works nila ay na nakita doon sa mga excavations, nagpapakita ito ng tradition of being master-apprentice knowledge sharing that preserve this complex technique across generations. Okay, so nature as a central theme. So nature is of course, the undisputed central theme of Chinese art. Marami sa kanila ay puro mga about nature ang kanilang theme sa kanilang mga arts. So nagpapakita ito ng deep philosophical belief that humanity is a small but integral part of the natural world, and that we must live in harmony and balance with our environment. Okay, moving on. So beyond nature, Chinese artists tackled the reality of their times. Nagpapakita ito ng mga war, community life, and of course death. Because direct expression could sometimes be dangerous. They relied heavily on symbolism to convey their profound reflections on society. Okay. Ancestor worships in China. So ancestor reverence is a cornerstone of Chinese culture. Yung mga Westerners ay they often misinterpret it as a polytheistic god worship. Ibig sabihin maraming mina-worship na gods. So it is a primarily a deep respect for lineage. So this is why magnificent gold and bronze vessels were crafted as final resting places for the elite. Okay. Kapag natapos itong mag-session ulit ako ng bagong link, Okay, so limited kasi tayo sa 40 minutes. Okay, so tuloy natin. So, yun na nga. Yung mga nahukay ng mga bronze vessels ay crafted as final resting places for the elite. And then, okay, so moving to Japan, no? So we see an art history defined by distinct periods of isolation and subsequent rapid cultural integration. Okay, so yung Japan kasi ay isolated ito from other parts of the world, no? So na-maintain nila yung kanilang heritage. Hindi sila nag-adapt ng mga kultura from other nation because of their isolation. Okay? So, yung mga Japanese artists, they masterfully infused indigenous materials with Western subjects, which create a unique cultural mixing pot. Okay, and then among Japan's earliest artworks are the Haniwa. Haniwa. Ito yung early Japanese ceramics. So these clay figures were arranged around the burial mounds, while their exact purpose remains somewhat mysterious. They clearly demonstrate the early flow of artistic influence from Korea and China. Shintoism, ito yung Japan's indigenous religion, ay ine-emphasize nito yung mga spiritual essence which exists in all things. Interestingly, early Shintoism did not use figurative art para ipakita yung kanilang mga paniniwala, yung kanilang mga beliefs, focusing instead on the natural beauty of sacred spaces themselves. Okay, so yung introduction ng Buddhism, which came from China, ay nagkaroon ng shift towards Japanese art. So yung mga visual representation became a crucial tool for worship, which led to an explosion in the creation of Buddhist sculptures and the architectural development of temples. Okay, so the Japanese painting style. Okay, so when Japan isolated itself in the 14th century, its own painting style truly blossomed. So it leaned toward abstract naturalism. So the artist, of course, enjoyed a level of spontaneity and individuality, capturing everyday life with a distinctively Japanese voice. Okay, moving on. Minimalism and ukiyo-e. So Japanese art is celebrated for its minimalism. It is a contrast to the often elaborate Chinese designs. So itong period na ito ay so this period also birthed ukiyo-e. No? So yung ukiyo-e, ito yung mga pictures of the floating world. Lumulutang. Ganyan yung kanilang mga paintings which created through masterful woodcut printing techniques. Okay, so when Japan reopened its borders, yung mga ukiyo-e prints ay nakarating ng Europe. Yung mga Western masters katulad nila Van Gogh, nila Manet, were profoundly influenced by the bold lines and blatant perspectives of Japanese arts, which helped spark the Impressionist movement. Okay, finally, we're going to examine Philippine art. So, throughout history, Filipino artists have created works that are both highly functional for everyday living and deeply expressive of our belief systems, yung ating mga societal advocacies and mga communal identities. Okay, so bago tayo ma-colonize ng mga Spaniards, yung mga Filipinos were master potters. Ibig sabihin nito, marami tayong mga potteries na napoproduce. So, while many pots were practical, of course, ginagamit ito sa cooking, sa storage ng mga goods. Katulad nga noong famous manunggal jar na nakita sa Palawan. So, itong manunggal jar ay isang sacred burial jars ito, representing the soul's journey to the afterlife. So, yung ashes ng mga namatay ay doon ay nilalagay sa manunggal jar. Okay? So, yun ang purpose ng manunggal jar. Okay, and then when it comes to weaving traditions, okay, so weaving is a profound cultural practice dito sa Pilipinas. Yung mga vibrant cloths ng mga taga-Cordillera, yung tinatawag na tinalak ng mga Tiboli, ay are embedded with indigenous symbols, weaving their spiritual beliefs into directly into the fabric of daily life. And pagdating sa Southern Philippines, yung mga Maranao, saka yung mga Tausug people, ay kilala sila doon sa kanilang okir, okir designs. So, intricate ito, flowing carved motifs, katulad ng mga S-shaped naga serpent. And then, of course, yung Paco Rabong fern. They are beautiful expressions of local mythology. Okay, so yung Sari Manok. Okay, so yung legend of the Sari Manok. So this is one of the most famous ochre motifs. According to legend, ito raw isang sultan daw ay nag-carve siya ng verb in memory of his daughter who vanished with a mystical rooster. Today, of course, it stands as a symbol of good fortune and royal heritage. Ito yung Sari Manok. Okay, so pagdating ng mga Spaniards, noong 16th century, nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa artistic landscape. So yung mga Catholic Church became the main patron of the arts, utilizing grand architecture, nagtayo na sila ng mga churches. And of course, yung mga religious paintings depicting saints and yung mga relics to establish a colonial foothold para ma-propagate nila yung Christianity. Okay, and of course, art eventually became a weapon for liberation also. Okay, kung natatandaan nyo, yung painting ni Juan Luna na Spoliarium, sorry. So it proved Filipinos were equal to European masters. Okay, nanalo ito ng gold medal sa isang art exposition sa Europe. So nagpapakita ito na magagaling ang mga Pilipino. So later, noong panahon naman ng martial law, yung mga artists turn to social realism. And that is para i-protest yung government suppression and advocate for human rights. Okay, so as we analyze art, of course, Okay, so yun na nga, as we analyze art, we engage in soul making. Okay, so soul making, this is interpreting style, form, and content. So modern art also introduced improvisation, which values spontaneity over planning and appropriation. Kung saan yung mga artists ay they repurposed existing images to challenge our perceptions of authorship. Okay, image crafting and the Da Vincian principles. Okay, so today we see a modern form of art in image crafting on social media. But to truly innovate and craft compelling narratives, kailangan nating tingnan yung tinatawag na Da Vinci's 7 Principles. Wait lang po, medyo okay. Okay, so ito yung balancing curiosity, sensory refinement, logic, imagination, and a healthy mind and body to understand the interconnectedness of all things.